Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through a couple player props I like over on Prizepicks for the Week 2 Monday Night Football game between the Falcons and the Eagles. Week 2 closes out on Monday night with a pretty good primetime game for Monday Night Football, Falcons-Eagles. I've got two player props that I do like over on Prizepicks that we're going to talk about for tonight's game. I like a prop on the on the Falcons side, and then we'll talk about a prop that I like on the Eagles side. So two plays. As always, we're going to break down these plays, guys. We're going to share why I like them. Before we do get started, though, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. If you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, and if you don't have a Prizepicks account, be sure to sign up. Use promo code NOAH when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first lineup. No matter if you win or lose that lineup, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So sign up, make a deposit, use code NOAH, place a $5 lineup for tonight's game, and if that lineup wins, loses, doesn't matter, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account that you can then use towards additional lineups. And obviously, if you win any of those lineups, that money that you win then becomes withdrawable. You can take that out if you choose to, but definitely check out Prizepicks if you guys have not yet. And again, make sure to use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up. But yeah, guys, we got two props to talk about for Monday Night Football for Week 2. Let's go ahead and break them down. So, a fantasy score prop that I'm liking for tonight, and then I have a receptions prop I'm liking. So for the fantasy score, for those of you that are new to Prizepicks, if you don't know what fantasy score is, it is really self-explanatory. It's basically just your traditional fantasy football scoring. You can click scoring chart. You can see how the points are calculated. It's pretty much the same scoring system that every fantasy football league uses. And it is full PPR, so you do get a point per reception. Everything else, you can see how it's calculated. But the fantasy score line that I do like for Monday night that I think is a little low is Kyle Pitts. We're going to take Kyle Pitts for more than 8.5 fantasy score. So you can just kind of look at Kyle Pitts' projections for Monday night, and you can see he's projected for around 8 fantasy points just from kind of yards and receptions alone, and that's not factoring in touchdowns. In Week 1, Pitts only had like 3 catches for 20 yards, but he did catch a touchdown, so he went well over this fantasy score line, had 11.6 fantasy points. I'm not expecting Kyle Pitts to score a touchdown Monday night, but obviously if he does, there's a very good chance he will finish with more than 8.5 fantasy points. But I really like the role that Kyle Pitts has. He's going to play on probably almost every single snap. If you look at Week 1, he played on 96% of the offensive snaps, so he was on the field for almost every single snap. And obviously Atlanta, they got a big quarterback upgrade this year with bringing in Kirk Cousins. I know Kirk Cousins did not look great in Week 1, but that was a really tough matchup against the Steelers. Kirk Cousins only threw the ball for 155 yards, only threw the ball 26 times. So he was, he had a low pass attempts game for Kirk Cousins. Cousins typically in the past has been a guy that, typically averages like 34, 35 pass attempts per game. Now, obviously on a different team, under a different offensive coordinator, maybe the offense doesn't run the same as it was when he was on Minnesota. But you can look at his projections for tonight, Kirk Cousins' projections. I mean, for pass yards, he's projected for 225.5 pass yards. His pass attempts line is set at 33. So clearly, the sportsbooks are expecting more passing volume from Atlanta here than what we saw in Week 1. In that Week 1 game against the Steelers, I mean, it was really low scoring. It was really slow paced. The Steelers, they're an offense that just wants to run the ball. They want to kill the clock. That's not really the case with this Eagles team. The Eagles got Kellen Moore. I think the Eagles are definitely going to be more of a fast-paced kind of more of a pass-heavy offense than they have been in previous seasons. The Eagles have historically been a team that likes to run the ball and kind of kill the clock as well, but I think things could be a little bit different now they do have Kellen Moore. I'm expecting the Eagles to be able to put up points here. They're favored by 6 at home tonight. So this sets up as a game script where you're probably going to see Atlanta playing from behind. And if Atlanta's playing from behind, if they're forced to throw, we kind of know where the targets are going to go in this Falcons offense. It's going to be a lot of volume for Drake London, a lot of volume for Kyle Pitts, and then you'll see some targets to Bijan, you'll see some targets to Darnell Mooney. But you should really, most weeks, it should be Drake London and Kyle Pitts leading this team in targets. These are by far their 2 best pass catchers. And Kyle Pitts, I know it's been very frustrating if you play season-long fantasy, if you play daily fantasy. Like, rostering Kyle Pitts is super frustrating because it feels like he's one of these players that should do a lot better than he does, but he's kind of had, bad quarterback play in the past. The offense, last season Atlanta's offense was a very run-heavy offense with Arthur Smith. I think things are definitely going to be different this year We already saw Kyle Pitts get into the end zone week 1. I know his overall stats were not great. Like, he only had 3 catches for 23 yards, but he was able to find the end zone. The volume should be there. We should see Atlanta be more of a pass-heavy offense this year. I think the matchup against the Eagles is fine. I mean, the Eagles were kind of like middle of the pack against tight ends last season, but I like the role that we're getting from Kyle Pitts, like the usage, and I think this is a game script that sets up for Atlanta to be playing from behind and going to be forced to throw. So give me more than 8.5 fantasy score for Kyle Pitts as our first prop for tonight. And for those of you that maybe don't play on Prizepicks, I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you don't play on Prizepicks, there is, I think, for another prop I like for Pitts, if you can't take fantasy score, I do like more than 3.5 receptions. I think that looks pretty good. Honestly, you could take receiving yards as well. I feel like Pitts is a little bit more likely to get 4 receptions than he is to get 39 yards. But honestly, I'm a big fan of Kyle Pitts tonight. I like a lot of overs on him. Fantasy score, receptions, receiving yards, even 5.5 targets I think looks pretty good. Big fan of Kyle Pitts here. Favorite prop, though, for him is more than 8.5 fantasy score. And then the other prop that I like is a receptions prop. And the one that I like here is Jahan Dotson. We're going to take Jahan Dotson for more than 2.5 receptions. Now, if you look at Jahan Dotson's last 5 games, it doesn't even mean anything because he was on a different team. But obviously, he's gone under this line the last 5 games. I don't really care, though. He did have 0 catches week 1 against Green Bay, so that is worth noting. But we're expecting a big role change here for Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson should step in as the wide receiver 2 for the Eagles tonight, since the Eagles are going to be without A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown has already been ruled out for this game. So you should see a lot of targets kind of condensed around Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, and I'm assuming Jahan Dotson is going to be the guy that sees kind of a big bump in playing time. Last week, Jahan Dotson did play 32 snaps, so he played 42% of the offensive snaps. He was basically the wide receiver 3. But now without A.J. Brown, he should be the guy that steps up and plays probably 80 to 90% of the snaps. He's going to be on the field a lot more. And if he's just going to be on the field a lot more, he's obviously going to have a chance to get receptions. And Jahan Dotson, I think, is a good player. I mean, the Eagles went out and traded for him, so they obviously value him. They think he's a guy that can provide something for their offense. And now he's going to have an opportunity to see a big boost in playing time with A.J. Brown out for this game. So I'm a big fan of Jahan Dotson here. I like the role change that he should get in this spot. More than 2.5 receptions is the prop that I do like for him. Another prop you could look at is his receiving yards, and honestly, I don't mind that either, taking more than 29.5 receiving yards. Just feel like these lines are too low for basically the Eagles wide receiver 2 and a guy that has shown the ability to produce when he gets opportunity. Now, when he was on Washington, he kind of struggled with quarterback play. Washington's offense was never really that good. They never really had good quarterback play. Well, now he's getting to play for a really good Eagles team and a really good Eagles offense with a pretty good quarterback in Jalen Hurts. And again, I think this is an Eagles team with Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator now. This should be a little bit more pass-heavy than they have been in previous seasons. And you can look at Jalen Hurts' projections for Monday night. I mean, he's got a 232.5 pass yards prop. His pass attempts prop is set at 31, so he's projected for like over 30 pass attempts. If you're going to give me 30-plus pass attempts from Jalen Hurts, I think I got a pretty good chance at getting 3 receptions from Jahan Dotson, who's probably going to be on the field for 80 to 90% of the snaps, if not maybe more than that. I mean, you look at the other pass catchers on this Eagles roster, outside of Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, and Dallas Goedert, the only other guys they have besides like Saquon, obviously, I mean, they have Johnny Wilson, rookie from Florida State. I'm a big Florida State fan. I think Johnny Wilson actually could be a good NFL receiver, but he barely played week 1. He only played 10 snaps. And then you have Britton Covey, who I don't really know much about, but I don't think Britton Covey is a guy that we should be really projecting for a lot of volume. I mean, last season he barely got playing time. So it should be Jahan Dotson that gets the big bump in snaps here, big bump in kind of just a role change with A.J. Brown out. And while I do expect a lot of volume for Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith, and I think those are probably the 2 guys that are going to lead this team in targets, it should still be Jahan Dotson seeing a big boost in playing time. And if he's going to be on the field for 80+% of the snaps, give me taking more than 2.5 receptions for him. So these are the 2 props, guys, that I do like for Monday Night Football, Week 2, Eagles and Falcons. We're going to take Kyle Pitts for more than 8.5 fantasy score, and we're going to take Jahan Dotson for more than 2.5 receptions. So if you guys are going to tell me on these 2 plays for Monday night, let's hopefully hit both these plays tonight. Did hit all 3 of the plays that we gave out for the Sunday slate, so hopefully you guys watched that video, gave out 3 picks for Sunday, hit all 3 of those. Let's try and keep it rolling, hit both these plays here for this Monday night game. But as always, guys, appreciate you watching. Make sure to hit that like button down below. If you did enjoy this video, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure to use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up. And when you place your first lineup, you will instantly get $50 in promo funds added to your account. So check out Prizepicks if you guys have not yet. But good luck tonight. Thanks as always for watching. We will see you guys in the next video. Peace.